2021 has been quite the year. So let's face it, for most of us, staying positive, uplifted, and cheerful during these colder months and end of the year can be a challenge. In today's video, I would like to share with you the meaning of the winter solstice, as well as some witchy but simple rituals for the Christmas season. First, what does the winter solstice mean? The winter solstice, also called Yule in the Wiccan wheel of the year, is associated with the celebration of the longest night and the shortest day of the year. And this happens on December 21st in the Northern Hemisphere. Yule is the celebration of the return of light, the promise of the returning warmer and brighter days. And although a little different, all cultures and religions around the world have some sort of winter celebrations that resemble each other, especially when it comes to the fire festivals, the color red, gathering and feasting, honoring nature, slowing down, diving deeper into renewal, and reflective/introspective practices. To put it simply, the festivals of the winter solstice all around the globe celebrate the birth of what we can call the savior archetype. In Latin America, there is this image of the godchild that's very common. And this is something we find in Christianism with the newborn child, aka Jesus, representing this perfect Christmas gift and blessing. This is the renewal of humanity through the act of being reborn. In Persian culture, the longest night of the year, or the winter solstice, is called Yalda. This night is a time to celebrate with friends and family, gather around fire and read poetry or prayers until far beyond midnight. Fruits and nuts such as pomegranates or apples are traditionally eaten by the family due to the red color that symbolizes the dawn or glow of life. This is the blood of life itself and the color of the sun that defeats darkness. And by the way, if you want to know what colors, like red, symbolically represent, make sure to check my recent blog post and video on the topic. I will leave the link in the description box down below. Anyways, earlier on, in Roman traditions, the month of December was also the time of the year to celebrate the birth of the Holy Sun, or Sol Invictus. This is the undefeated sun. And during this period, it was believed that surrounding ourselves with light and setting intentions for the rising of the spring was an act of devotion and surrender to the cosmic flow of life. Isn't that beautiful? So later on, the Roman festival Saturnalia came about and became one of the most important times of the year. It was a time to honor the god Saturn, which is one of the most important deities in the Roman or Greek pantheon. And this celebration of Saturnalia, or this festival, if we may call it this way, usually began on December 17th, so this is a period of joy, continual partying, gift-giving, carnival atmosphere, and, just a regular breaking of social norms. Usually a sacrifice at the temple of Saturn was held, and slaves were given a table at their master's house, because freedom and bliss were a sacred duty during Saturnalia, or December celebrations. And the Neoplatonist philosopher Porphyry, I hope I am pronouncing his name correctly, interpreted this freedom that the festival of Saturnalia granted the Roman citizens as a symbol of how souls are being freed into immortality during this period where the sun is being reborn. So from the very center of darkness emerges the light, and through embracing this process of rebirth, by rejoicing, we can be free. The Saturnalia Festival heavily influenced the traditions and customs associated with Christmas, the Feast of the Holy Innocents, as well as midwinter celebrations all around Western Europe and northern countries in general. Of course, later on, with the Christianization of Europe, all of these Saturn or golden age based symbols were transferred to Christ, Jesus, or God. But what remained is this feeling of rejoicing, of having fun, of gathering around fire, of rebirth, of celebrating, that we are now accustomed to when it comes to Christmas celebrations, end of the year celebrations, and just this spirit of Christmas, as we call it. The spirit of Christmas has pagan roots, and now you know all about these roots. The reason why I like to integrate history and just overall context in my videos is not to dismiss modern or monotheistic religions, not at all. I am a strong and firm believer myself. But the reason why I like to remind you guys that all the celebrations that we have today are based on pagan traditions is just so you can have an open mind about some traditions or myths or histories that were lost in translation, but that we keep perpetuating unconsciously. This is where they came from. And the reason for that is that all over the world, we all have the same knowledge, the same sacred source. When you have the same sacred source, your traditions, your customs, your folklore, your stereotypical things you do all year round resemble each other. And this is what happens all around the world. If you look from the Aborigines in Australia to the first Native Americans to Kemet Africans, you realize just how similar these traditions are. They all honor the seasons. They all understood that we are interconnected with this entire cosmos or nature, Mother Earth, however you want to call it. They all knew and saw these things for what they were. So now let's take a look at the 7 things to do to celebrate the winter solstice. As you already know, everyone celebrates the holidays differently. But if you're living in the Western world, what we call the Western world, there's already things that you probably do with the end of the year celebrations that resemble winter solstice celebrations. So you're good. But if you want to be a little bit more mindful, here's a list of additional ideas to include to your December routine. First things first, decorate your home. Since the winter season invites us to retreat into the comfort of our inner worlds, our homes become center stage during this time of the year. And if you've paid attention to my last video on Samhain rituals, or Halloween rituals, you know damn well that your house should be well organized, clean, and tidy by now. What you can do now in December, after the seasonal house cleanse that you should have done in autumn, is to decorate your house, your space, in order to invite the energies of the winter solstice into your life. For people who celebrate Christmas, this is already something that happens naturally as the Christmas tree is set up. And this tree, the Christmas tree, acts like a true magical altar that holds the intentions and wishes of the family for this season. And actually, I advise you not to bring a traditional Christmas tree, which is a real tree that they cut, unfortunately, from a forest. Because, well, first of all, it's really, really bad for the environment. And 2, you're probably just gonna throw it away after Christmas. Instead, what you can do is find Christmas tree alternatives that are both extremely beautiful and also very good at doing their job, which is act like an altar. An altar, by the way, is a sacred space, a sacred, room or just a tiny bit of space in your house that has all the blessed and sacred items that you want to dedicate to a certain purpose. It can be dedicated to a deity or to an intention, a wish, a goal, etc. But it acts as a reminder or as a holder for your intention and energy. So every time you go there, every time you meditate, every time you clean that space, you are reminded of your spirituality and of your intention. So in this space and all around your house, make sure to put cones, dried oranges, mistletoes, cinnamon, wood, red and green colored items, as well as trinkets and charms that represent what you want this end of the year to look like for you. This is a great way to celebrate the winter solstice. Another way is lighting a candle. As important as it is to sit in the dark during the winter solstice and get comfortable with our own dark night of the soul, if we may call it this way, it's also great to light a few candles after our meditation or solo time in darkness. Candle magic is usually one of the easiest ways to connect to the winter solstice energy, because the flame of a candle is symbolic for the energy of the sun itself. So because of this, candles usually represent and symbolize light, warmth, and consciousness. Lighting candles around your house will not only help you attract the light energy that we're speaking about, but also it will act as a container for your thoughts and intentions, since burning a candle is a powerful magical spell all in itself. You can place your candle in your altar to add to this magic and power. And as you light your candle or candles, make sure to always look out for safety. We don't want to burn your house down. We just want to burn a candle. Always remember safety first, guys. But also always set an intention. As an example, burning a scented candle for the purpose of protection, love, or harmony, or any other purpose within your household could be a great thing to try this winter. The third way you can celebrate the winter solstice and the winter season in general is to create or bake a Yule Log. And if you're wondering what the hell is a Yule Log, don't worry, I'm sure you probably saw this thing before, you just never knew what it was called. And this is actually a tradition that was very important during this time of the year to our elders. So this piece of wood was carefully selected, cleaned, and decorated, and infused with the intention of protecting the home throughout the days of December or Yule. And it was then burned slowly, usually over 12 days, as a way to add warmth and hearth to the home. It's always better to seek for a piece of wood in nature, no matter how small or unaesthetically pleasing it is. Just make sure it is clean and clear from worms and insects, of course, and moss. But anyways, in modern times, if you live in a city like me or very far away from a forest or garden, and you cannot physically bring a piece of wood into your space, you can replace this with a Yule log cake or a Yule centerpiece. This could be a great option to consider, and it will be just as magical. All you have to do is put the same intention into it. And if you bring a cake into your house, make sure to eat it completely. You should not leave any residue of the Yule log cake or the Yule log. In general, it should be used and it should have a clear purpose, which is, of course, to protect your house, to add warmth, or whatever you decide its purpose is. Speaking of eating Yule log cakes, the fourth thing you can do to celebrate the winter solstice is to have a feast. Having a feast is by far the most common winter solstice tradition out there. Not only is gathering a time of warmth and closeness, but it is also a ritual in itself that can be infused with magic and intention, if done mindfully, of course. Some examples of great things you can bake and cook with this season are fresh ingredients, fruits and vegetables, especially seasonal fruits and vegetables. I'm speaking apples, cinnamon, ginger, honey, nutmeg, oranges, and all things of that sort. And if you're hosting the feast, make sure to cook every single meal with love and pick the ingredients according to their symbolism. As you cook, make sure to work on these correspondences and visualize every single ingredient that you use as an important component of your magical spell. At the end of the night, you will have a feast that is blessed, that is magical and full of love. And trust me, anything that is cooked with love is always something that tastes incredible. So get creative, and if you cannot meet people, or if you're spending this end of the year on your own, remember to bake for yourself or for a charity. There's always things that you can do. You don't have to, be surrounded by tons of friends and family. If you're on your own, cook for yourself. Make it with as much love and generosity than any other situation. Another thing you can try this winter solstice, if you want to celebrate and bring some good and positive energy into your life, is plant a seed for spring. So as the spring promises us during this time of the year to come back again, so will our intentions and wishes. And part of honoring nature and its life and death cycles is understanding that sometimes our goals and best intentions need more time to flourish. It needs time to rest. And the reason why practicing gardening is a great spiritual practice is how it can truly teach us patience. The day we will plant the seed is not the same day we will eat the fruits. And every great project, relationship, reward, or event follows this natural rhythm. The sixth thing you can do to celebrate the winter solstice is giving gifts to others. In honor of Saturnalia Festival and the Christmas spirit, gift giving is a great way to celebrate the winter solstice. In Islam, it is said that giving gifts to others is a way to give love. When you offer other people something, no matter what it is, you're giving them your time, your energy, your money, which are all parts of you. So this act of carefully choosing a gift, or better yet, making a handmade gift, can be very powerful. And this is just my own personal opinion. I believe that money can come and go, but time never flows backwards. So when you have the choice, always prefer handmade items. And if that's not the case, make sure to choose gifts according to what the person would love. I have so many people around me and so people in my life who are terrible gift givers because they focus on what they want to offer others. When you give somebody a gift, you should always consider and think twice about what they use in their daily life. What are their preferences? What are their favorite colors, their favorite cuts, their favorite fabrics or materials? These are the things you should consider before buying or giving anyone a gift. The seventh thing you can try this winter solstice, if you want to add a little bit more magic to this cold season, is relaxing and resting. See, winter teaches us the importance of slowing down and relaxing. And following in the footsteps of nature, we should allow ourselves to get cozy, just feed our souls and be a little bit more careful with our time, attention, and presence. Instead of giving your energy away to others, focus on yourself. Listen to your body and embrace the quiet nights where all you want to do is snuggle up in bed with a hot beverage and a book, or the slow mornings where all you want to do is take your time. Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished, said Lao Tzu, and he is damn right. Take your time this winter. Take your time and embrace the slow living philosophy. And last but not least, one way you can celebrate the winter solstice is through gratefulness. During this winter solstice time frame, it's important to feel thankful to the abundance life granted us, especially during the past 12 months. Thanks to the universe, you have a roof over your head that can shelter you from the cold. Thanks to the universe, you have food and water supplies to deal with these extreme weathers and changes. Saying thank you to people in our life is also important because these people give us love, they give us support, and they are by our side no matter what. It is also important to say thank you to the technology that we use on a daily basis, the means of transportation, the ground and soil that nurtures us, the sky that gives us great views in rainy seasons, and impeccable Instagram stories. It is important to give thanks to all things that exist within your reality, within your life. And however you want to give thanks, just remember to do it and do it often. For me, as an example, on top of all of the things that I just mentioned, I want to say thank you to you, my dear subscriber, my dear reader, my dear business partner, customer, online friend, or stranger listening to me today. Thank you for being part of my journey. There's so many more activities you can try to celebrate this winter solstice, from meditating to reflecting on your spiritual growth over the past year. What's important is to get lost in the spirit and magic of the season. Allow yourself to bathe in this beautiful, slow and dark, yet promising and abundant energy. Allow your soul to shine and your inner brightness to guide you amidst these cold and dark nights. Your heart is the lamp that can lead you to the safe harbor. So follow that northern star of yours with faith and devotion, because it will get you where you need to be, baby. Okay, now I want to hear from you. What winter solstice activities and traditions do you usually perform during this time of the year? Is there a particular practice that I mentioned that you're eager to try? Please let me know in the comment section below. Do not forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.